Greetings. I'm James Gilliland, your host, and we've got another great show. We've got Tom Kaypacha Lescher, who's had more than 30 years of experience as an astrologer and spiritual practitioner. His approach to healing spirit, mind, and body through emotional release and Kundalini Yoga utilizes astrology as a healing art. In addition to personal readings, he brings astrology to everyone through international lectures, experiential workshops, writing, and teaching. He's the author of the Pele Report, a well-known weekly astrological YouTube forecast, and numerous magazine and online articles using yoga, meditation, nature for self-renewal, and natural law as his guide. His work brings balance, love, joy to others and on the planet. So, and we've got some major announcements to debate about the Kaypacha Healing Festival too. But without any further ado, I want to bring Tom on the show. Tom, are you with us?
I am with you. Thanks for having me, James.
Yeah, do you want me to call you Kaypacha from now on, or?
Sure, whatever. Kaypacha's fine.
Okay, I'm not. I've known you for Tom for so long, so I wasn't sure if I was supposed to use the other word, but anyway, there's so much to start with. We probably want to get this healing festival out of the way first, to just talk a little bit about the healing festival that you have currently underway.
You bet. It's basically, I got this vision down in Brazil at the last eclipse last November of many people gathered together, in circle, doing ceremony, chanting, yoga, singing, kirtan, big top tents, and just a community of sacred healers coming together and moving from place to place like the old style gypsy caravans. And so I've been working towards manifesting this, and we've got 4 different locations starting in July 26th is the first one in Northern California outside of Garberville, and then we're going to be going up to Ashland the following week, up to Bellingham, Washington after that, and then down to near Mount Adams finally after that to see you.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and it's basically healing artists, singers, soul readers, contactees, massage therapists, yogis, astrologers, people from all over the world. I got people coming from Australia and Europe, Costa Rica, Canada. We're all kind of converging here and going to do these 4 festivals, 4 weekends in a row. And really, what I'd like to see them as is creating like a vortex, like a tornado, like a it's just like we want to just make a suction cup here on planet Earth for some multi-dimensional intelligence to manifest and come alive within our reality.
They're sure here now. Boy, I tell you, last night we saw some ships power up and just hover right over the ranch, and they were just blinding almost. They were so bright. And they're coming down, and they're here, and we've seen mother ships and other little ships flying all around them, and as many as 30 ships. No, actually we saw 50 ships in 30 minutes. We counted them.
Oh my God.
But they're here. I mean, they're here big time right now, and the real disclosure is coming from the skies, and I'm sure they're going to be very attracted to your events because of the high vibration and the energies that are generating there.
Yeah, I'm really excited to just be, hitting the right tones in the right succession with with the number of people focused with the same intention. It's just going to be, fantastic.
Now, what's the best way to contact you to find out more about these festivals, and we'll give that again at the end of the show.
Yeah, all that information. We've got a website where you can read about all the people, their bios, and the program and the locations. It's Kaypacha Healing Fest, which is Kaypacha Healing skywatchingfest.com.
Great. And boy, I'm sure looking forward to that. I might sneak up to the Ashland one too, just to see. I've always been drawn to Ashland, and my daughter actually went to school there, and she has a lot of friends. So you never know.
Right. That one's the hot springs too. So we're going to have springs at school, and
that sounds awesome. I could sure go for hot springs and a massage more than anything right now.
Yeah, baby.
But. There's so much going on. I know your Pele report covers a lot of this, but I would love to get your take. I know there's some major planetary alignments right now as we speak, and the full moon, we're getting slammed with gamma ray bursts. A solar flare is actually whacking us as we speak. I'd love to get your take on that and kind of some of the effects of what's going on.
Yeah. Well, it's, we basically just had this exact square between Uranus and Pluto. That this square between Uranus and Pluto was exact last June, again in September, now this month, again in November, then in 4 of 14, 12 of 14, and finally the last one is 7 times these planets do this little dance back and forth, ending in March of 2015. This is like a 2.5 year, shift, evolution, change, transformation occurring, and the symbolism of Uranus and Pluto in the signs of Aries and Capricorn just really has. I could talk about that square for a couple hours, but it's basically it has to do with this shift from, I would say, Pluto moving through Capricorn, which is there for 16 years, and it's there until 2024, 25, is all about the death, release, removal, the letting go of old paradigms, of old sources of material, financial security, of old authority figures, external authority. So this is, governments, economies, banks, churches, popes, scientists, whatever. There's this transformation from 2008 till 2024 of this kind of removal, the falling apart, the letting go of the old structures of power and authority to be transmuted, transformed, through some alchemy, of change into a new structures, new institutions, new governments. And Uranus moving through the sign of Aries, which, really began in March of 2011. It's going to stay there for 7 years. It's coming around. And Uranus is like Prometheus, the light bearer. It is stealing fire from the gods, illuminating humanity. It's this like opening of the third eye. And of course, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's a new beginning. It has to do with our instinct, our impulses. It's this third eye awakening is about opening to the vision of non-polarity. Below the third eye, we're two of everything. We exist in this world of yes, no, good, bad, right, wrong, light, dark, third dimensional. You go above, the eyes into the third eye, and you get this single vision that is, multi-dimensional. It's not limited to this, dualistic reality. So this is, we are opening up collectively. There's this opportunity. It's like this window of opportunity coming around for this birthing of a new awareness, a new consciousness. Now, the thing about Uranus is it, in medical astrology, it rules the nervous system. And it, and when it comes into a square aspect with Pluto, of course, Pluto is basically the root chakra. It's undermining everyone's, it's like the collective, what we've all been standing on, counting on, relying on for security, for, a sense of stability and reality is shifting. And then Uranus is coming around like lightning bolts. It rules lightning and electricity, and it's just like.
Oh, yeah.
So our nervous systems, our DNA, it's symbolically just saying that, and this month in particular, just last week, it was exact, where we are just absolutely, the old is falling away and the new's not quite here yet. So everyone is just kind of like in this place of what is going on.
Yeah, I am surrounded by that, and even in my own life, I'm surrounded by that, and making huge changes and kind of releasing things that no longer function or work, and altering everything and redirecting everything, and just getting really clear with where I want to go, and and being loving and compassionate at the same time, but at the same time, really focusing and getting very clear on the world that I want to create and I want to participate in, and which seems like what these events are all about, is basically creating heaven on earth and bringing in some very high frequencies and unity consciousness and all that other stuff. The one thing I wanted to ask you about, okay, with these these gamma ray bursts that we're just getting one after another, which to me is seventh dimensional consciousness slamming the planet. That in conjunction with this solar flare that's direct, that's hitting us right now as we speak, that seems like it would actually intensify, the deepest, darkest old programs being shattered and torn out, and all these changes that are happening, and our deepest hidden stuff coming up.
Well, it absolutely is. I got to say, this is really a time where people are being stretched wider, bigger, deeper, faster than ever before. It is a time of, Uranus is instability. Everything becomes very unstable, and our minds are playing games with us. Our nervous systems are being, shook. And all of this root memory, drudgery, darkness, all the fears. It's like opening Pandora's box. Everything comes out, and then hope is the last is the last one. And so it is. It's this time of clearing, and it's like you have to see it, feel it, in order to clear it.
Mm-hmm.
So we are, our systems, our psyches, our emotions are getting really charged up now. We've got Saturn in the north node of the moon going through Scorpio, which is another root chakra issues really coming up very powerfully in our relationships. This is a huge time of, attempting, I would say, to withdraw our projections and own our creations. And this is what is really, really the challenge now, is not to be blaming and projecting and putting stuff out there on spouses, partners, governments, weather, just, and step into that place of being the creator. And there's no school training. There's like no training for this. It's really up to each individual. It's like we are really being thrown in upon ourselves, more so than ever before. And that's what this last eclipse was about.
It just seems all of the lessons and all of the mirrors and everything are just being amplified, and we just can no longer operate business as usual. We can't run the old programs. We can't continue to be out of integrity or dishonest or all of these things just don't function anymore. And so if there's any kind of fear or insecurity or manipulation going on, or unhealed wounds or traumas or whatever, all that stuff is just being pushed right up to the surface, to take a good hard look at it. And the stuff that we could have kind of glossed over and not deal with it, and like you're saying, project or blame or put it out somewhere else, is it just, you can't do it anymore. It's just like in your face, and it's about ready to hit you over the head with a hammer.
Yeah, that's because at the same time we've got this Neptune going into it's in Pisces now, along with Chiron, and of course that's the immune system, and it's like we are all being super sensitized now. So at the same time that the rugs are getting pulled up, so that everything that we swept under the rug is now getting exposed. Simultaneously, our crown chakras are opening up, and we are becoming more sensitive. Our skins are becoming thinner. Our boundaries are beginning to, weaken and lessen as we step into unity consciousness, and we start feeling other people's energy, it's like we're all becoming, hypersensitive at the same time that there's more stimulation. And it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah. What I've noticed is, and this could be a whole show in itself, but, unseen negative influences, this Archon network, whatever you want to call it, the veils are really coming down. And for me, I'm becoming ultra sensitive, and I'm actually seeing these beings clear as a bell. And luckily, I've had the training on how to deal with them and clear these out. But I've noticed lately that it's I'm seeing other beings too, like inner Earth beings, Andromedans, Pleiadians. All these beings are showing up, as well as the unseen negative influences are appearing and making themselves known and doing all they can to disrupt and create problems and chaos, So to me, it's just like this big soup that's being stirred up beyond belief right now, and everything is coming up to the surface, and somebody turned the heat on, on max, and we're all in this soup, and I'm wondering who's going to get out of it. I guess those with the best tools and those that can stay grounded and those who can keep focused and become the observer are probably the ones that are going to end up as this wonderful soup when it's all over.
Well, that is exactly it, and that's part of what these healing festivals are about. It's just really, like you say, that, to keep grounded and to keep your instrument finely tuned. Mm-hmm. It's our physical bodies that really is our foundation at this time. And we have got to, I encourage people, to really, I'm really watching the pH balance of the diet and, the drugs, the alcohol, the exercise, it's just like these healing festivals are no drugs, no alcohol, no cell phones, no external stimulation. We're going inward and upward and in a very pure, natural state of being. It's time to really get simple, get basic, and really watch, your physical signals. Our bodies are just like becoming such finely tuned instruments, they're easily knocked out. Mm-hmm. Our immune systems are, like I said, they're breaking down, we're opening up, and the upside of that is beautiful. We can get a sense of love, of unity, of connection, of a higher vibration that that just brings us all together and is ecstasy and nirvana. Uh-huh. The downside of that, is that it doesn't take that much, right? It's like the opera singer breaking the glass. Uh-huh. Yeah. It's very fine crystal is a little more easily broken. So it's not taking as much stimulation, whether it's pharmaceutical or not pharmaceutical, or prescription or non-prescription. It doesn't really take much these days to pollute, numb out, dumb down, mess up the body. And as soon as you go off, out, and you numb out, or you escape, or you use your addictions, to not feel some of the intense feelings and processes that are rising up to the surface now. There's a big tendency to just want to. This is too intense. This is too heavy. Give me a drink. Turn on the television. Plug in the iPod. Get on the internet, but don't feel what is going on inwardly. And that is, that's a recipe to not really take full advantage of, or evolve, or open, as fully and completely as we can at this time.
Yeah, it seems like there's so much self-sabotaging going on. I've never seen so much of that in all my life, where people are just engaging redundantly the same crap over and over again, and it's getting bigger and darker, and you can't miss it anymore. It's just like this big sore thumb monster. And I'm just blown away that people just jump right into it again. And I just go, oh my God, it's like, how did you miss that? But I guess if you've been living with the monster for so long, and you've been getting something out of the monster, there's something that you're getting out of that monster, you're just gonna keep hanging with it until the monster finally just consumes you. But whatever that monster is, whatever addiction that is, I'm just seeing people taking it to the max right now.
And certainly, I'm sure you're well aware that our institutions, particularly Western civilization, and all of the advertising and all of the drug companies and the doctors and Monsanto and the government and the churches. I mean, they are so promoting every form of escapism.
Yeah.
It's like, here, take this, here, buy this, here, eat this, here, swallow that, or smoke. I mean, it's just it's so
read this.
yeah
Read this, pray to this external authority. It's funny because I've been working on it. You kind of quoted it there, but I've been working on this for quite some time about the internal authority versus the external authority, and how there's so many distractions and everything is external, and the whole Archon network is designed to program people to seek everything externally, which is so disempowering because it totally disconnects you from soul and spirit. But I've been really trying to bat it over people's heads, even in this disclosure project going on. Why are we seeking an external authority to tell us it's okay to believe in UFOs when 90% of us know they're here, and they've always been here, according to the latest poll. So it's just unbelievable. But then they have these guys standing up there trying to steer all the information to them, saying, "I'm the Messiah. Look at me. I'm the guy that's going to break it loose." And again, that's another distraction, another external authority. And I'm always wondering, when are people going to go within and make their own personal God connection, whatever you want to call it, God, Creator, Spirit, and realize they're multidimensional beings and realize they are the ETs they're looking for, or have been waiting for.
Exactly. It's just coming into this place of the outside is the inside. Mm-hmm. And, if you accept the alien aspects of yourself, if you, open to and receive and allow, the reality of all these latent energies within yourself, then the external is going to not be so threatening. Mm-hmm. And it's going to open up and materialize, for you in the outside world. So Yeah, I think it's all simultaneous synchronicity that as we open inwardly, then the external is, changed as a result of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
Yeah.
it's encouraging people to do their inner work. It's like, if you do your inner work and you are, letting the ghosts and the skeletons out of your closet and cleaning up your dharma and your, anger and your past, you're doing a favor. You are assisting the whole collective consciousness to
Yeah, I think one of the main things that I see it all boils down to, and I've seen this again and again, people will dismiss all this stuff with affirmations and this and that and scapegoats, but bottom line, it all boils down to choices and actions. Making choices and acting on those choices and the reactions to those choices. And you could take it one step further and just say it all begins in consciousness. And we're walking through our own manifestations, and gaining the wisdom from the experiences. So it's so important right now to clean up our consciousness, to take responsibility, be accountable for what we're creating, and what's surrounding us in our lives. And if you're not getting it and you're doing the same thing over and over expecting a different result, you might want to seek a little outside help to give you a little objective opinion on what's reoccurring in your life.
Yeah. And I would say that one helpful aid that I use myself and encourage other people to understand is that this is a purging process, just like a purgative.
Yeah.
It's stuff is coming up now, and you're actually choosing, like you're saying, you have the choice now. Do I make this real? Do I blow it up? Do I make it big? Do I hold on? That's what we're talking about, letting it go. It's like, okay, am I going to make this real through and I'm creating my own reality with my attitude and my belief and my fears, and now is the opportune time to become conscious enough to say, what? This is only coming up to be released. This is only coming up for me to see so that I can let go of it. It's not real.
Yeah.
And exercise choice with like every moment, like every emotion, like every relationship. It's like, okay, now I can do this differently.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's the same thing is that, we go back to that form of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And, if we have patterns that are recreating the same experience over and over again, there comes a time where you got to back up and say, wait a second, rather than blame and project or whatever else, I'm going to own this creation, own this experience, and see, and maybe try something else that does work. But obviously this didn't work, and it hasn't worked. But sometimes it's hard to let go of old patterns, especially when they're based on wounds and traumas and wrong conclusions from past experiences, and they become our friends because we've held on to them for so long, and we're just because of our own stubbornness, you might say, or fear or insecurity, we just can't let go of these patterns, these old programs.
Yeah. And another part of that too, the what I kind of coined this term from Mother Giambatti down in Brazil. It's surrender to life. Accepting that life brings you what you need, and it is good. And holding that belief that if a person is coming towards you, that accept it. If a person is walking away from you, then it's like just really move through life without holding on to goals, agendas, results. It's got to be this way. It's like you got to listen to life now and really do this dance where, okay, when life brings me a right foot, my left foot goes back.
Yeah.
And it's fun. If you come to this place of freedom, it's like so liberating. And that's the other thing. I think a lot of people have a negative association with letting go. Letting go is a loss. And you are there, you're jumping right into the polarized consciousness of gain and loss. And that letting go is not necessarily a loss.
Yeah.
Well,
I noticed too that
your fear is not a loss, I mean.
Exactly. And what I see too, that there's I love that old Buddhist saying, he goes, we are what we think, all that we are rise in our thoughts, and with our thoughts we create the world. But the trick is you're not the only one thinking, and creating. There's other co-creators out there, doing their thing at the same time. But I think sometimes, people are creating different realities and they have different energies to those realities or different. And what do you think about the time where it comes a time where you're saying, hey, our realities just aren't jiving, It's like I'm really focused towards just love and joy and bliss and service to others. And I really want to go forward in that direction. And let's say the other person might be just creating all kinds of drama and karma and everything else.
Yeah.
It is a dance, but sometimes I think it's time to just open the door and let it dance on out to somewhere else.
I know. I really feel like it is a seed time, and it's like we are some seed people. And we are planting seeds in the sense of communities of like-minded seeds.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's going to happen, I think, really organically by, people just, coming together with other people that are of the same ilk. So many people are looking for their tribe. It's like, where are my people? It's like I'm not fitting in. I'm not belonging. As people wake up, they're waking up to the reality that the consensus, state of society is not understanding, not getting, not supporting who they are.
Yeah.
And it's just there's this need to jump out of the nest and learn how to fly quickly, or jump out of the box, get out of the envelope, or go out of your mind. Out of your mind is your intuition.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like to trust your intuition, to not be analyzing, categorizing, thinking, and trying to fit everything into this ego, third-dimensional reality, but to step into, in some ways, chaos, in some ways, the unknown. It is just this kind of. I think, in some ways, it's a leap from the brain to the heart.
Yeah,
it's just it's just this shift, from one magnetic field to the other, but it's different.
Yeah, I've seen that. We were talking on another show about that, how this place got built, and everything was just built on meditation, inner guidance, and trust, and everything was provided, and it just kept manifesting over and over again, and I just had to trust that process, and it was, all my needs, whatever I needed, even down to windows were given to me at the exact angles which I need, because I was building a house out of a bridge, with all these weird angles, an old bridge. Mm-hmm. So windows were given me that fit the exact angle for that bridge, So it's just amazing watching everything happen like that, and just by trusting the universe. And I came out of a world that was very controlled, very materialistic, very, kind of fearful and insecure world, of materialism and social consciousness, into this other world. And it's rough because, especially for people that have a foot in both camps, trying to play both worlds at the same time, they're being split in two right now.
Yeah. And that is, that's very much the truth, because there are a lot of people that are being challenged, just on a financial, money basis to survive. And it's really being pounded in, through so much of the social media, through so much of everything that, it's hard, it's tough. You can't make it outside of, you better hold on to your, insurance and your 401k and your, this program and that program and everything, because you don't want to step outside the, the system, or, you're a goner,
Exactly.
And it's just like, whoa, Nelly, it's, and yet when you do, and that's the amazing thing, it's almost like you don't have to believe in magic. In some ways, it's not. There is no magic. In some ways, what magic is basically laws that we're unconscious of that are working.
Exactly.
In our own best interest. And when you step outside of the known, supposedly, systems, you step into the world of magic. You step into the world of healing. This is where healing happens, where love happens, where magic happens, where all the juicy stuff is. Is that world outside of the left brain categorical dualistic consciousness.
Oh yeah, I had a great yoga teacher. That was, God, I don't know how many years ago. That was like 25 years ago or 30 years ago. But I love what she said. She told a story about this woman who had a mule, and she was just like dragging this mule and dragging, and the mule was always fighting her and always fighting her. And, she's trying to get it here and there to sell her wares and stuff. And so she was just so cursing at this mule. So finally one day the mule just drops dead, and falls down and drops dead. And so she's going, she's crying and upset about her mule. And then so she gathers up all her pots and walks over the next hole, and there's a horse, waiting for her, And so I just see that, in all kinds of things. We're dragging this mule, trying to get it to come with us and be of service or whatever, and we're doing everything we can, and then all of a sudden when we finally let go and give up, or that reality has to die, we're not ready to give it up yet until it dies, but as soon as we fully let go of it, there's this beautiful horse or this beautiful new relationship, beautiful new world, whatever, just waiting for you on the other side. And I'm seeing that happening in so many circumstances right now, on so many different ways, in our jobs and our relationships and everything. It's letting go and simplifying. It's so important to just simplify. And sometimes all you got to do is let go of the old belief systems and the old programs and the old wounds and traumas that have created those programs. And then life will take on a whole new meaning, and it won't be so hard, and it won't be such chaos and everything else in it.
And so many of those programs are that you need this, you need that, you need this, you need that, particularly of a material nature,
for acceptance and approval outside of yourself, which is another external program, It goes back to everything external. You need this to be accepted and approved by society, or, you have to drink the right beer, drive the right car, all that nonsense to get the blonde, and the bikini, and it goes on and on and on. But that program or that network, that external program where you need, buy, consume, keep up with the Joneses. Your external outer appearances is first and foremost in your life, forgetting the internal, and that's a death sentence, basically.
Yeah. In astrology now, that's actually being triggered now, or symbolized by the moon's nodes, which is called the north node and the south node, or the dragon's head and the dragon's tail, moving through Scorpio and Taurus. Yeah. The south node of the moon, which is associated with the past, the dragon's tail, the known, the familiar program that is safe and secure, is Taurus, which is earth, possessions, money, self-sufficiency, survival in a physical, level and plane, and it's hoarding and saving and gathering and, shutting down and closing up and, just, keeping all my stuff, becoming very much in a rut, but safe, secure, solid, and unchangeable. That's our past. That's the path of least resistance at this time.
Exactly. Yeah.
The polarity of that, the north node, the dragon's head, which is the unfamiliar, it's the future path, the future intention, and this is being strongly emphasized from September of 2012 until February of 2014, is this encouragement towards Scorpio. Scorpio is dealing with, confronting forces beyond our control, merging, learning, unifying. It's the law of osmosis, that I become what I relate to. It's coming out of this Taurus, coming out of myself, coming into relationship, into intimacy, being vulnerable, trusting things I cannot control, which initially is other people. Yeah. I mean, people are having real trust issues, not only with their governments and with their teachers and with their banks, but just with their most intimate partners.
I can definitely relate to that one because, a great master told me once, trust is earned. And I was dealing with, a major betrayal of trust and some other things that went down. I was looking at that, and I was meditating, and one of these inner earth beings, it was so wonderful, this beautiful female inner earth being appeared to me, and she pointed right at me, and she said, trust you, Yeah. And that was the whole problem, is that I didn't trust my own inner guidance. I didn't trust the signals. I didn't trust the obvious. I had my illusions of and projections, that I was putting out, and actually seeing, the highest potential in somebody, and all of that stuff was going on, and all of a sudden I had to pull back and go, wait a second, I need to really look at this deeply within myself, look at the past, where this has happened in the past, and heal that up, but at the same time, and looking at, is there trust there? And if there isn't trust there, do you even have a friendship, let alone a mate or a lover or whatever else? Yeah. And I've been really looking at, do you have honesty? Do you have integrity? Do you have impeccable integrity? Do you have, the service to others program going, it's really, just totally reevaluating everything in my life and what I want to surround my life with this, which is kind of what these Kaypacha festivals are all about. Is like, hey, let's create heaven on earth. Let's understand these universal principles, that are necessary for a healthy environment and society, and let's apply those daily and then be vulnerable, to help, be vulnerable to love, allow yourself to go to the deepest core of your being, even if it means you're going to get, slammed here and there, because, that's where your deepest core issues are. So, yeah, it does seem like that's what this energy is doing, too, with the Pluto and the Uranus and everything else. It's just bringing up those deepest core issues. And if we're vulnerable to, we allow ourselves to go that deep and get in there, we're going to come out the other side just beaming.
Yeah. It's true. We've got this Saturn moving through Scorpio now at the same time as this north node of the moon. And this is, Saturn stays in a sign for about 2.5 years. It went in there in October of 12, and it's going to stay there until December of 14. So we're not even halfway through with this Saturn moving through there. And, I look at Saturn as graduation.
Yeah.
Chronos, Father Time, is maturity. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, this is about growing up.
Yeah.
And it is about, folks, we are old enough now to take on, our deepest stuff and not be projecting it, not be blaming, not be resenting, not be, putting it out there anymore. And it's exactly. Not, it's not easy. It's also our duty. It's our
Whoops, I think we lost you. Hello. I think we lost Tom, or I was lost. I'm not sure which one. Hopefully we're still on the air. It says that I'm on the air, but it looks like we lost Tom. Maybe we can get Tom back on here. And seeing the, we are still on the air, but anyway, I'm just seeing over and over again. Yeah, there's this stuff is really coming down hard and fast right now. Our deepest, darkest issues are coming up. Whatever we haven't dealt with and whatever we've shoved under the rug, like Tom was saying, is coming out from under the rug for us to look at and heal. And we just can't keep going along business as usual. We might have been able to get away with things in the past, but we just can't do it anymore. There's too much consciousness and energy, and the Earth is expanding. She's growing, and she's popping off one thing after another. She's popping off all kinds of volcanoes are going off, earthquakes everywhere around the planet. We're trying to get Tom back on here. I'm going to just keep going, but we're in times of great change, and it's going to get really interesting. It's almost like the core of the planet is releasing at the same time. The deepest core, and along with the Uranus, which means major change. But anyway, with this solar flare hitting the planet, the gamma ray bursts, Pluto and Uranus squared, hang on to your hats, folks, because it's going to be a wild ride, and our deepest, darkest crap is coming up on every level. And it's going to coming up in our own lives. It's going to be coming up in all the institutions. And, we're going to have some huge changes coming in, social, economic, and physical earth changes as well. So, it's pretty undeniable. It's on the books, and I'm watching the earthquake reports coming in right now, and there's a massive buildup. The Earth is expanding. I mean, she is expanding. She's overheating. She's moving into a highly charged place in the universe right now. We're moving into alignment with galactic plane, and the sun is just getting ready to go ballistic. We had, several X-class flares, some of them glancing, and we just got hit with I think an M-class flare that was direct, in the past 2 days. So anyway, that's going to affect the bioelectric fields around your body. It's going to create, affect your mental body, your emotional body. It's going to affect the weather with more tornadoes and crazy weather patterns. And we're going to have an increase in earthquake and volcanic activity. And that is just the way it goes. There's a formula I gave back in the early 80s about that's been borrowed by quite a few people. But, it talks about, and we really should go to consciousness and energy, or moving into these highly charged places in the universe with the alignment with the galactic plane, is going to create solar flares, and the sun is going to react to it, which is going to create changes in consciousness and changes in economics and changes in weather and physical earth changes as well. So it just moves down the pike. When these massive bursts come off the sun, we feel the gamma rays first. And we're getting hits out of Taurus and Cygnus and everything with these huge gamma ray bursts, which is seventh dimensional consciousness. Up to 500 hits a day of these energies and cosmic energies coming in. So hang on to your hats, folks. It's going to be a wild ride. I think we got Tom back. Tom, are you with us?
Wow. Just as I'm talking about Saturn, I get this big blue screen up, and Windows has shut down, and it's beginning a physical memory dump.
That's interesting.
Wow.
Totally apropos, I guess, for what's manifesting in the outer world. I really wish, sometimes I wish I could do a memory dump. There's quite a few things I would like to dump out of my memory, but I guess when they quit reoccurring, I'll dump them, and I don't need to hang on to them anymore. I'll just dump them anyway. What the hell? But anyway, we just got a couple minutes left. So can you, what's the best way to find out more about these events that you have coming up?
It is through the website. It is Kaypacha Healing Fest, which is spelled Kaypacha Healing, Healing, Fest, FEST.com.
Great. And if people want to find out more information, too, you can go to ECETI Reservations, ECETI Reservations, and find out more about any upcoming talks, workshops, or it looks like I've got a few talks happening, one in Sedona, another one in Joshua Tree, and it looks like I may even be speaking at the International UFO Congress. Go figure. Coming up.
Hey.
Yeah, that's a miracle in itself. I never thought they'd let me back there. But anyway, hey, we're running out of time. I can't thank you enough for coming on the show, and I'm really looking forward to these events.
Yeah, this is going to be great, James. Thanks for having me. It was great to talk to you again.
All right, take care and keep up the good work.
All right, bro. You too. Bye-bye.
All right, James Gilliland signing off. Have a great evening.